Welcome everyone to the pre-race Chinwag for the 2023 British Grand Prix. I am early, it's technically 9:59, okay? Take it in, watch it, drink it in, just like this beautiful intro. Thank you all for coming, thank you all for taking the time. This Chinwag today is going to be a Chinwag GTI, a Chinwag Superleggera. We're going to get through this rapid. You'll see why, because it's very busy at the minute. All good busy. Very, very grateful to be busy in this way. Tomorrow morning's video, I am so excited to bring to you lot. I've still got a lot of work to do on it, but I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Thank you all for coming. Leandro, Marcel, BBC Radio, Beltsy, Adam, Pablo, Phronix, Alvaro, Not Yet, Lemon, Zander, Professor Z, Raf, Nico, Formula Marius, Dan, Jaden, Nation, Niels, Rafa, Marius, Mikey, William, Raykets, Leah, Oscar, CL, Ian, Ados, Matthew, good to see you, mate. Edward, Dayton, Mohammed, Zay, Marcel, Antonia, Giovanni, Imran, Sam, Anna, Zinka. Right. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you taking the time live, after the fact, audio only, wherever you choose to consume this live stream / podcast / random English man on the internet talking about racing cars. Right. Again, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, do all that good stuff. Rate it, all that, please. It helps. Let's crack on, shall we? Let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. Round 11, British Grand Prix. This is the mid-season. We're going to get 22 races this year, obviously, with China being removed from the calendar. Although we've got the new 2024 calendar out and China's back on it. Japan's round 4 as well. That's kind of interesting. Other than that, not loads of crazy changes. They've tried to but whatever. Feel free to look at the 2024 calendar in your own time. Yes, so British Grand Prix, this will be the mid-season point after this race. We'll have had 11 of 22 races, assuming all the rest do go ahead. And yeah, I mean, Silverstone, this is not British bias. It does always deliver bangers. Almost always. I can't remember the last time it didn't deliver banger. You know, last year, that is me throwing my mouse across the room. Last year was a banger, and Carlos Sainz won his first ever race in Formula One, which was incredible. Ferrari ballsed up the strategy, leaving Charles on the hards, which meant he was easy pickings. Max had damage, which was caused by Yuki crashing into Pierre, and AlphaTauri parts damaging the Red Bull, which made him fall down the pecking order. He just about held on position to Schumacher from some pretty aggressive defending. We had the through goes Hamilton moment, which was brought on by Charles Leclerc defending on the hard tyres against Sergio Perez, and then that opened up a space for Lewis to go through, and Crofty nailed it for sure. You had Joe with his massive accident as well, which obviously they've got the I think they've got Joe's T-cam in that thing in Madrid. You know, that F1 exhibition, whatever it's called. I think they've got that there. So last year you gave it a 10 out of 10, did I, Marcel? Well, it was. I mean, what didn't it have? It had a new race winner. It had scraps throughout the field. It had iconic moments. It had, you know, every type of iconic moment. I mean, geez, if Joe hadn't have had that accident, then who knows what would have happened to those protesters, eh? Yeah, it was quality. Now, it's looking like it's going to rain this weekend, which adds a little bit more into it. That classic British weather, right? It's lovely and sunny outside today, but it won't be. It won't be on Sunday by the looks of it. But we'll see, because these things do change in jolly old England. He didn't deserve to win. Jack, I mean, look, listen, he took the opportunity when it came. Yes, Charles was ahead. Charles had more pace. Carly, that's all you can do in some of these instances. Seize the opportunity. Yes, he didn't win it firmly on pace and merit, because, you know, Verstappen had his issues, Charles had his issues, but I was chuffed to see Carlos on the top step of the podium, no doubt. The only race you missed last year, Casper, that's an L. That's a shocker missing this one. So hopefully it delivers every bit. Obviously Ferrari are a lot more competitive relative to the front last season. This is a very different track to the Red Bull Ring. A lot of medium high speed corners, not much low speed at all. which you've got to think maybe the Mercedes and Aston Martin will come back into their own a bit. McLaren upgrades as well. I think Oscar's getting the ones that Lando got. Lando's getting a few more. I think that I could be wrong there. I think that's the way it's going. But yes, let's keep our fingers crossed, people, that it's a weldy, a banger. All right. Driver standings as they stand after 10 of 22. Quick refresh. Verstappen 229, Perez 148, Alonso 131. The most interesting, probably the rise of Ferrari, because Ferrari seem to be on a very good trajectory. They've had a really good race pace the last two races, Canada and Austria. And what Sainz is 24 off of Hamilton, and Leclerc is 34 off of Hamilton. So that's not an insurmountable gap. If Ferrari keep picking up some podiums, right? Be good to see them back into the fight, because at one stage you felt like, oh, maybe they're falling away a bit and it's the fourth quickest car, but it looks like they're going in a positive direction. Maya, it's your first race you're going to watch live. Nice. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it doesn't rain too much for you, but we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't bank on it, okay? But Silverstone, as much as the tickets are extortionate, it is always a fantastic day out. I've never had a bad time at Silverstone. And it's always really fun Sunday to walk around the track afterwards as well. So I'd recommend, maybe if you're going to come Sunday, bring your running shoes and have a little jog around. Some people bring their like e-scooters and that, which I don't know. Can you get? I wouldn't guarantee you could get that through security, but maybe you can. I don't know. Right. Other than that, not too many stories. Again, I think Norris picking up big points for McLaren, like doubled the points total in Austria with that P4 in the end. Puts him on 24, just behind Ocon. So I think that really puts now, McLaren back in that fight with Alpine for a fifth best car. And who knows by the end of the season? I think it will change a lot. There's a lot of upgrades coming out from all the teams now, and it's still relatively it's a season and a half into these new regulations. So teams are starting to understand. Okay, there is a common theme running through. There's a best practice of car development. And we will see by the end of the season how it's looking. Constructor standings, not too much to comment, really. Again, McLaren catching Alpine a bit. Scuderia Ferrari catching the rest. Mercedes and Aston Martin. But other than that, I mean, it's still all to play for. And I still haven't updated the colours. My apologies. Again, it happens. Haas red and Alfa Romeo white in this world, in this alternate timeline. Boom. Okay. Predictions time. Let's have a look at predictions. I'm wrapping through this quite quickly because also we've got some liveries to look at as well, which I want to take some time to digest and divulge. Okay. I'll do my best audio only to explain as much as possible as to my thoughts and feelings. My predictions for this weekend: Max Verstappen race win. Shock. It's a fantastic car. It's arguably even more at home on those higher medium speed tracks, and it would have to take something going wrong for Max to not win this race 100%. But I put banger drive Hamilton. I've also put banger team Mercedes. I think I could see this being it should be a 1-2. As long as Checo doesn't have any issues, it should definitely be a Red Bull 1-2. But I could see it being like a 3-4 Mercedes. I think they're going in a good direction. I think this kind of track will suit their car much better than Austria. So I think they'll be in a good place. Klanger Magnussen and Klanger Team Haas. I mean, they just have no race pace. And Silverstone's not the easiest on your tyres. And if you're just munching through them, then you're going to be in a bad position. So I think Hulkenberg's had the measure of Magnussen so far this season for sure. So I think that will manifest itself as a bit of a stinker. Williams have brought upgrades. Sargent had a good race last race as well. So I'm not holding out too much hope for Kevin Magnussen, I'm afraid, or Haas. Why isn't Lando race winner? Look, soon. I'm sure it will happen soon. Right, your predictions. 3,105 of you voted. Thank you so much for voting. I put it out last night, the poll on YouTube community and on Twitter. And I guess I'll have to start doing it on Threads as well, because that's the new Instagram founded It's links to your Instagram, which I'm not massively keen about because I like to keep my Instagram just for my like private stuff. But also it'd be silly for me to not try and use Threads. And like just all my tweets, I'll just copy and paste them onto Threads, basically. You got to try these things because who knows with Twitter? Who knows with Elon, man? And my Twitter is like a big part of what I do now. I consider that a significant part of what I do now. So if Elon does, fly into a mountains, then Threads might be the place to be. Yeah, Stroll's all over the place, I know, right? So race winner, 26% of you have given it to Fernando Alonso. So, I mean, that would be incredible, of course. 26% of you as well gave it to Max, but Fernando got a few more votes. Checo, 16%, and Lance, 14%, which, I mean, again, if Aston Martin is quick, he should be up there. He should be. Whether he will be or not is another question entirely, but he should be, theoretically. Banger Drive, also Fernando Alonso, 38% of the vote. Stroll, 18%. Okay, I see what's going on here, Stroll Army. Your first red classic, Tommo. I had to do it, Dimmy. I had to do it. Alex Albon. 14% Lewis Hamilton for Banger Drive and 10% Lando Norris for Banger Drive. So, yeah, I mean, I could see Lando having a good race around here with the upgrades. He's had 1 week of the upgrades. Oscar's hopefully getting them. Seemed to maybe half a second. It seemed to make a big difference to the performance of that McLaren. The disparity between the two of them hasn't been that big all season. So that is a good sign for the McLaren upgrades. Klanger, you've given it to De Vries again, which, yeah, I mean, the thing, he does need to turn it around now. He's got what, this, Hungary and Belgium to save his AlphaTauri seat. And honestly, for him to actually save the seat, he's going to need to beat Yuki convincingly, I think. It's a huge ask now, I think, for Nick to recover from this slump that he's on and the disappointment, really, ultimately, because I firmly backed his place in F1. I think an F2 champion, an FE champion should always get a shot. If the door presents itself, the door opens, the opportunity arises, but it's cutthroat, and you have to take the chance, because you might say, oh, it's harsh, but what about all these other people waiting in the wings? What about Felipe Drogovic? He's not got a seat. What about Liam Lawson? What about all these other? There's so many other drivers who Eilert, Schwartzman. Like, there's so many who Schumacher. You can make a compelling case. Well, if it's fair to keep one in, then it's not. You know what I mean? Like, everyone who's in a seat, ultimately, you have to be some degree of. It's like almost like when you go for like a job, you go for a job interview, right? And you get the job. Well, you getting the job has meant that all these other people have not got the job. So, you have to perform, because if there's going to be a line of people waiting to take your seat who deserve that opportunity just as much, if not more, than you do. So, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for Nick. Like, from on a human level, I hope he turns it around, but I just don't see it happening. I don't. Banger team. 36% of you gone Aston Martin, 26% Red Bull, 15% McLaren, and 14% Mercedes. So yeah, there's big love for Aston. Again, wasn't a great. It's been a bit of a. Again, Austria didn't play to their strengths. Fernando said this afterwards, didn't he? He was like, the Aston Martin wasn't strong here last year. It's not strong here this year. The cars are quite different, but there are fundamental principles that often run through cars. Look at Ricciardo's issues with the 21 and the 22 McLaren were quite similar, because it was braking and it wasn't so tied to the fundamental regulation changes. So yeah, it's we'll see. I've got my reservations about Aston, but I'm sure they'll be somewhat competitive. I think Mercedes will have the edge on them, though, in my opinion. Perhaps AlphaTauri wasn't the team for Nick. Just a thought. It's true. I honestly think, Inez, I think if Nick goes to Williams alongside Albon, with James Vowles, who seems to be very arm round shoulder, Logan's been given a lot of time, and Vowles has been, very candid and good, and he's been in that Williams. He's succeeded already in that Williams. I think maybe this is a different story if De Vries takes that Williams seat, assuming it was offered to him, which I believe it was. So you're right. I think going to AlphaTauri was the risk. I think the risk was the potential of it working and then being a long-term Max number 2 once Checo eventually kind of moves on, because there's a good chunk of years between. I think there's like 5 years between De Vries and Perez. That's my opinion on what that was being lined up to achieve, and obviously it hasn't paid off, and now it's looking like he's going to be fully without a seat, which is a shame. It's a shame, but there you go. Clanger team, AlphaTauri, 41% of the vote, so not too much expectation. Hopefully Yuki can deliver, though, of course, up the Yuki coin. 15% Ferrari, 14% Haas, 9% Alfa Romeo. Bosh. Lovely jubbly. Right, okay, cool. So, when is Aston bringing? I'm not actually sure when Aston's bringing extra upgrades. Not sure, but Nick is 28. Was never going to be given time compared to Piastri or Sargent. I think he would have been given more. I mean, if Nick went to Williams, he's 100% getting the full season. I've got no doubt in my mind about that. Whereas there's a genuine belief right now that if things carry on as they are, he will not be in that car come the first race after the summer break, which one is it? I can't actually remember. It is Zandvoort. There you go. Bosh. When are the Hungary ticket results? Yes, Elliot. If any of you watched my video yesterday, which I was really happy with, gone down very well. I'm giving away 2 pairs of tickets to the Hungarian Grand Prix, so 4 tickets in total, split between 2 people. So you need to go and watch that video and find out how to win them. I'm not going to tell you because otherwise, so just go watch the video after this stream, and I'm giving you 24 hours. It's 24 hours the time limit from when that video came out that you can win those tickets. But again, watch the video and you'll find out all the details. And once 24 hours is gone, I'll probably communicate the winners via like a community post, I guess. I'll reach out to them directly as well. Does it come with a plane tickets? No, I'm afraid not, Tristan. Just 2 pairs of general admission 3-day race passes to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Bosh. Cool. Okay, cool. So predictions done. Let's now talk teams. Williams. Not much to say from a what point of view am I trying to say? Not much to say from a performance point of view. Again, Logan's got the upgrades, seem to be working well, but they have a new livery. And oh my goodness, I love this. It's the only thing I'm not massively in love with is the white on the rear wing end plate. Again, sorry, audio only listeners, you can't see what's on screen. For me, this is a corker. I love it. I would like you know what? I don't have an issue with it being all white. I just think that I would like to have seen it angle down. So almost like the white kind of angled. You can't see my cursor, can you? It's hard to explain. So basically, the back of the rear wing white is fine, but then the front of the rear wing, I'd like the white to have cut down a bit lower, just so then it has a bit more of there's an angle to it. It's very straight. It's like straight left, and then like on that middle picture, it just goes straight left and then straight down the white. Whereas if it kind of just angled down, follow the shape of the side pod. Yeah, kind of Tom. Yeah, exactly. Like, just felt a little bit more. It just feels like a block on the back. But other than that, I think the incorporation of the British flag. I think George is going to be very jealous. He'll be like, "Oh, I wish I was in that Williams," because they've implemented that really nicely. So I love that one. Thank you, Matthew, by the way, for the £2. Will Brad Pitt out-qualified De Vries? Oh, maybe. They are filming that, whatever they Apex. What's it called? I can't remember what they're calling it now. They're filming it this weekend, aren't they? In rehashed F2 cars, just so there's not quite the performance to, kill Brad Pitt. You don't want to do that. It's not ideal. But Apex Racing, there we go. That's what you want. Right, cool, sweet. Yeah, sorry, Tom. I've kind of spoiled it for you, mate. I apologise. Williams, not much more to say. AlphaTauri, I think they'll be okay this weekend. Again, they've got a good power unit in them. Yuki, rely on him to get at least close to the points. So we'll see. I'm sure Brad Pitt's actually driving though, isn't he? You said it's stunt drivers, David, but I'm sure Brad Pitt's actually driving. I could be wrong, but yeah, not much more to say now for Tauri, to be honest. And yes, they are getting their own garage as well for the movie. Alfa Romeo, still Alfa Romeo. So, like, they need to do something for me to what do I have to say? Like, I don't really know what upgrade wise is coming, and it just seems to be Joe and Bottas just around the back. Like, I don't know. Joe will outqualify Bottas. Maybe. I think Bottas has had the legs on him slightly over the last few races, but they are pretty close. They go missing on Sundays, yeah. Well, I mean, are they really turning up on Saturday as well, though? I don't know. Haas, again, I anticipate Haas are going to have a bit of a stinker. No tyre performance can be held on by this car. So it's going to be a tough day in the office, I think, for K-Mag and Nico. McLaren. Okay, so there's the papaya you can see on screen. But they have dropped a brand new one-off livery. As we can see, the chrome McLaren. Now, I want to stick a poll. I should have really done this for the Williams one, but never mind. You lot seem to be generally pretty happy with it. Thoughts on the McLaren? Oh, I've just done print screen for some reason. There we go. Thoughts on the McLaren X Chrome? Great. Good. Dead. What are you saying? What are you saying? So we've got the Chrome McLaren. Obviously, so the rear wing is unchanged. The front wing has chrome on its front. The side pods is partially unchanged, but where it is blue before is chrome, and then where the actual chrome logo is, there's actually quite a bit of chrome. So what are we thinking? Because so I was super fortunate. I got to go to the actual launch. It was weird they decided to show off the car in the outside part, which is kind of covered, rather than. For me, it would have been better if they'd have shown it off in the actual like promenade, because you've got these massive windows which let loads of natural light in, whereas outside you have a big like there's a roof almost. You're still outside, but there's kind of a roof, and that blocks a lot of light. And I just don't think in terms of really getting that chrome to shine, because from the right angle, these are renders obviously, right? And that top render where the chrome really looks chrome, it does look like that in certain lights, but when it's in the duller light, it really just looks grey. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a maybe misplay in my opinion, but ultimately I think I would say, okay, so you're 18% think it's great, 41 good, 31 10% dead. I am gonna say, the thing is that we're never going to bring the red back. Ultimately, they were never going to bring the red back. They're very, they're very proud of the papaya, the marketing team, fair enough. And they're leaning into that. They wanted to bring a new generation version of this livery. And for me, it just needs a bit more chrome. And, well, you'll see more about maybe. I really want to tell you, but I'm not going to give it away. A lot of you have asked for my version. You will see my version tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. The overalls are nice. Yeah, the overalls are decent. Hello, Richard from Australia. Welcome, mate. Yeah, the overalls are decent, but yeah, I just think it. You know what? From certain angles, it doesn't look any different. I think that's part of the problem, because you've got the Velo side pod with the papaya still, the rear wing with the papaya, the chrome wheel covers. From that front angle, it doesn't actually look too different, does it? either chrome logos or no logos. So front wing, for example, it's what's happened? Oh, is the stream stopped? It's crap. It looks fine on my end. Chrome crashed the stream. It's back. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Okay, that's weird because usually when something goes wrong, it shows up on my end, but literally nothing showed up on my end. Okay, I'll carry on from where I left off. I'll do a little clap so I can edit this out in the. Actually, I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. Yeah, as soon as I start talking about Chrome, I use Chrome. Yeah, so the Chrome only. So, for example, there's no Chrome behind the Velo. There's no Chrome behind the OKX. There's no Chrome behind any of the logos on the nose, and that must have been a restriction. Surely, that must have been a restriction because that can't be coincidental. You know, they could have dropped more papaya and still had some papaya in, and it still popped, but they didn't do that. So there you go. Never mind. I think it's like it's I was a bit disappointed. I would like to have seen more chrome, but never mind. I'm hard to please. I am Ian. I'm high standards, Ian. All right, as you all should. But yeah, upgrades. Lando, I think race pace. I think third quickest. I read something on Twitter. I can't validate that. If you want to look into that yourself, but I think in terms of race pace, I think F1 Data Analytics was talking about it. Third quickest race pace, Lando Norris in the McLaren. So there's a big McLaren support at Silverstone. So if they have a good weekend, then they're in a good place. Yeah, on Twitter, but verified good sources of Twitter, not bad sources of Twitter, of which there are a lot. Yeah, they use vinyl for this one, exactly. Yeah, so if they use vinyl for this one, does chrome vinyl weigh more than papaya vinyl? I don't know. We'll see. Checo's race pace was good in the race. Right, next. Alpine. Very in Austria. I had no idea. Still no idea where Alpine would be in this race. Given McLaren's gains, I suppose. Clear of, the awful Romeo, AlphaTauri, Williams, Haas, but other than that, not much to say. I am on Threads. I set up my account this morning. Although again, it's a shame that it's linked to your Instagram because I'd like to use my Instagram for non F1 stuff most of the time. Not that I actually put much on Instagram, but whatever. Ferrari. Again, positive trajectory. Carlos Sainz won last time. Charles Leclerc was very quick last time. And yeah, I mean, I think Mercedes will be the next quickest, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Ferrari. So we'll see. I think it's just impossible to give Ferrari too much belief, right? Because you just know almost certainly you're going to have your heart ripped out your chest, which is not good. Mercedes, yeah, I think this will be a good race for them. Again, their strength is in the medium high speed stuff, and with King George and Lewis Hamilton going around the track, I think I'm expecting good things from Mercedes this weekend. So expect a double DNF because that's how it works. Aston Martin front wing upgrade. There you go. Aston Martin. Now, the final team, so far anyway, to launch a not so much special edition livery, some minor changes. As you can see, they have added a little bit of blue and a little bit of red, which is from Valvoline. I don't know how you pronounce it. Although it's an iconic sponsor from like old touring cars and that. So they get away with it. I mean, when you've got that beautiful green with the neon to then add red and blue, it's I think they just about get away with it. It's just subtle enough that I think it's still okay. But, because it does clash. It definitely clashes. It definitely clashes. Now, this is just a one-off, I believe, in partnership with Valvoline, whatever they're called. But yeah, I mean, you lot think they'll be quick this weekend, so this could well get on the podium. Who knows? This could be Fernando's race win, according to your predictions, anyway. Yeah, they're an oil company, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's okay. It's okay. I don't hate it, definitely. I don't love it either. I don't love it. And yeah, look, some of you don't even notice the difference. So yeah, exactly. It's subtle enough that they put it off. And then finally, Red Bull Racing. I don't think it's permanent. Oh, you could be right, Darcy. I don't think it is. More of the same. Max Verstappen, Checo's pace. Again, Austria did kind of confirm something. Well, the thing is, right, I think more often than not, Checo has the pace, the race pace, most of the time, to, four of the first 5 races this season, he had opened up at least a gap of at least 20 seconds by the end of the race to the next car, the next non-Red Bull, which is a full pit stop, which, you could consider a dominant win. If you've won by more than a full pit stop. And Checo's done that loads of times this year. It's just the stinky qualifyings have always set him back. If you can just have a clean qualifying, then he'll be fine. So, and Checo was good in Silverstone last year for sure. Do you think Red Bull win every race? I think Red Bull win every race. Yeah, I think they win every race this year as long as Max doesn't have any issues. But if he does have issues, that obviously opens the opportunity where Perez will, he's got a, 70-60% hit rate of being that number 2. I don't know, actually, maybe less than that. I really crunch the numbers, right? There will be issues for Max. His car, all these cars have issues and things go wrong and it happens, right? So you've got to think, but then this will be, midpoint in the season and they've won every race. So again, I expect the gaps to be smaller by the end of the season. So I expect it to be a bit more competitive at the front. I certainly don't expect a Red Bull on pole for all the remaining races. Obviously, Charles already taken 2, but yeah, we'll see. Do you think any teams this season will breach the cost cap? Probably, because I don't think they gave enough of a penalty, in my opinion. But there you go. There you go. As Max had pretty not the greatest luck in Silverstone. I think, but yeah, he's in a good place to win this weekend. Right, cool. Okay, let's finish up the stream. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you all taking the time. I have now got work to do on a video that's coming out tomorrow morning. Also, I'm going to be at Silverstone on Friday and Saturday this weekend. So if you're coming, hopefully I'll get to see you there. I'm not doing anything like I did in Austria in terms of questions, but I will be doing I'll be doing a video and I'll be doing a stream live from Silverstone on Friday as well, which is going to be very interesting. So actually that live stream will be a little bit more like the Austria video. So in terms of answer questions, potentially win prizes. So yeah, that's going to be, so we've got, this stream today, then video tomorrow morning, hopefully. I need to graph to get it done, but I think I will. Then stream later in the day. It will be at about 1:30, but I'll update on the channel and I'll preset a live stream for literally tomorrow. And then Saturday I'll be at the Grand Prix recording, and Sunday I'll be doing last lap, and then Monday we'll be doing post-race live stream, and then I need to get the video out I've recorded on Saturday. So yeah, and then I'm doing something on Tuesday which is really, really good as well. Yeah, it's good. Okay. We'll quickly talk about the calendar. F1 2024 calendar. All right. Let's quickly talk about the calendar then. Save image, downloads, and then because I've had a look at it. I've not really delved into the. Oh my god, that image is huge. Look at that. Blimey. Right. FIA calendar. Why are you so big? That's a weird sentence out of context. I'm going to move over here. Right. And then I'm going to put it here. Lovely. So here we have the 2024 calendar. Busy. There's a lot going on. So Japan has moved to round 4, which is interesting. A lot of the flight. So for example, there's 2 weeks between Australia and Japan. So for a lot of teams, that's going to mean flying to Australia, then flying back to mostly the UK, but if not all, kind of Europe, and then back to Japan again. Surely that would have made sense as like a double header. But yeah, so you've got the season starting in 2nd of Feb, so 2nd of March, but then finishing back in December again. So they've stretched the season out back to finishing in December instead of at the end of November. Obviously, they moved that because of the Qatar World Cup, didn't they? So yeah, they've changed that up now. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, same with China triple. Yeah, that's the. I mean, triple headers. There's a few triple headers knocking about here. The thing is, you've got. It is obviously a difficult job because you've got, contracts already pre-arranged. You've got weather conditions, so you wouldn't want to go to certain venues at certain times of the year because there's a good chance it might get canned. So yeah, I think that what the biggest, I'll say, Azerbaijan's been moved right back. I really hope we actually get Chinese Grand Prix because that is a really good track. Yeah, I mean, Vegas towards the end. Brazil being the 4th penultimate race as well. That's a bit of a tough one. Oh yeah, I think they have to start. If we're actually going to get a 24 race season, they have to start rotating the team personnel, because otherwise it's pretty ridiculous, right? And standards will drop ultimately. Like whether even if you're part of they live the dream, they get to fly around the world, blah blah blah, right? Even if you feel that way, I'm talking from a performance point of view, because if you've got people who are burnt out and working incredibly hard and jet lagged, and they're just on the back end of a triple header, what you've got Austin, Mexico, Brazil, triple header, mistakes happen. It takes the tiniest lack of tolerance in these F1 cars and something goes wrong. So, I think it's in the team's best interest, not just from a morality point of view, but from a performance point of view to get it right. But there you go. Canada's still bang in the middle of Europe. Well, they speak French there, don't they? It's all the same. I'm joking, obviously. Right, okay, cool. So, yeah, there's my thoughts on the calendar. I don't have too many prevailing ones. Ultimately, apart from, it's going to be very busy next year. But that's a good thing because it helps me pay my mortgage. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting what I do. Again, it was a pleasure to meet a bunch of you in Austria. And hopefully, to any of you who come to Silverstone this weekend, I'll bump into you as well. And I'm also going to Hungary. I told you this month's busy. And then August is pretty chill, which is going to be nice. Nice little summer break for me as well. But then I need to get after this race, promptly, my mid-season report done as well. So, yeah, it'd be good. But it's good when your work is also your hobby. I'm so lucky to have that. And that's why when things are busy, I'm like, it's good. And again, I'm so privileged to be able to do this, and I wouldn't be able to do it without you lot. So honestly, thank you so much. The video I'm putting out tomorrow, you just you wouldn't think that was possible. I certainly didn't think that was going to be possible anytime soon, but there you go. Right, cheers everyone again. Thank you all. And sorry, I missed a super chat as well. Jacob, thank you so much for the $9.99, mate. Tommo, do you hear Alonso radio at the end of Austria GP when he asked if he's under 10 seconds to science. Clearly he knew he was going to have the 10-second penalty. Interesting. Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, obviously Fernando must have been made aware by the team that a lot of people were getting penalties, and probably been communicated that they're 5 and then potentially 10 seconds. So makes sense to ask the question, doesn't it? And you know, Fernando's got that capacity in his mind to think about these things. So Aston Martin played a worldie there, to be fair. It's just the FIA in the first place just shouldn't have allowed that to be a post-race change. If you're going to enforce the rules hard and fast, fine, I'm happy with that. But make sure you've got the facility to do it accurately. Right, I'm actually going to go now. Thank you again so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Don't worry about subscribing. Like and comment. That really helps. Cheers, everyone. See you video tomorrow morning. It's going to be really good. Bye. End.